All right, great to see everybody. I just wanted to introduce you to our wonderful panel with our Fireside Chat here. This is Women of the Flooring Business. My name is Rachel Berlin. I will be hosting, but probably not speaking much here. So a short introduction. This is a panel promoting the career paths in our industry and the next generation. So we have a wonderful panel here today of very, very educated, and just the experience level is amazing. So I would like to have everybody introduce themselves. So if I can go around the room, I'm going to start with Susan if I can, and I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you are passionate about this particular topic.
Okay, so people are my passion. I am the founder of Flooring Careers, which is a recruiting agency solely set up and created to support our industry, the flooring industry. We work with manufacturers, retailers, distributors, commercial residential contractors, East Coast to West Coast, with the common thread being flooring, to keep good companies employed and quality people engaged. So I guess I should have said the backwards: good people, companies engaged and profitable, and quality people employed.
Excellent. And Donna, would you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. So I am Donna Kosicki. I am a state and national leader in education and most recently in workforce development the past 22 years. And I've held leadership roles, one of them as Georgia PTA president from 2011 to 2013. And at that time, I brought policy change to the State Board of Education in the definition of engagement in K-12 schools, as well as hosting collaborative inaugural conferences in our state. And I'm currently a national thought leader on family engagement. I serve as a committee member on the National PTA Family Engagement Committee. And so my focus right now is on workforce development. So shifting from K-12 to policy and funding for technical college systems of Georgia as it relates to recruitment and retainment of employment in our industry that we'll be talking about today. So,
excellent. Thank you. And Kathy.
Hi, my name is Kathy Case. I grew up on the contracting side of the business. I was very fortunate early in my career to have many people step up and mentor and help build my career. And from day one, I've always tried to pay it forward. Whatever I've learned, I've tried to train other people as well. Currently, I run a contract estimating service for the commercial flooring industry. It gives us an opportunity to really help the entire industry. And for me, the greatest passion is getting people into the industry and teaching them everything that they could possibly know.
Excellent. And Kay, please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Rachel. It's a privilege to be here, and especially amongst such wonderful women. I'm looking forward to it today. I'm Kay Whitener. I am the Director of Operations with the Floor Covering Education Foundation. Just celebrating my 38th year in the industry, and so I tell everybody all the time I started when I was 2. You're not supposed to laugh. You guys are supposed to be on my team here. But, passionate about this industry because this industry has been extremely good to me. I come from the industry. My dad worked for Burlington Industries, so I spent many summers, in having to help him in his business. So I look forward to the talk today, and just helping to support each other, and it's all about how we can, serve each other.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And Katie, last but not least.
I'm not sure I belong amongst you ladies, but
oh, you do. I've seen your work. You do.
Thank you. I'm an owner and installer, co-owner and installer of a tile business in Otisfield, Maine Modern Tile, and recently have become a board member and regional director of ambassadors in New England for the NTCA. Super proud member of the NTCA and supporter So if anybody listening is in, from Pennsylvania to Maine and you don't know me, friend me, I'd love to know you. But I too am noticing a real need on the installer side for sure. So I guess my personal mission is trying to figure out what I can do in my area to get to some kids. And that's pretty much it.
Well, that is great. I appreciate all of you introducing yourselves. So the main topic of this chat is, what does it take to raise more young women to positions within the flooring industry? So I'd like to turn it over, maybe to start with Kathy, if I can. If you would like to give us some information of maybe some experiences that you've had thus far, what's been successful for you, and if you want to name any challenges specifically that you might have, and then perhaps one of the other panel members may have an idea or a thought on the same thing. So would you start us off, Kathy?
Or by challenges, are you asking challenges that I had as a woman in construction, or I'm going to be...
I would say to start with, why don't you start with that, because that's your background, and then perhaps we can go into as a business owner and professional.
Okay. Well, I think communication has always been one of the biggest challenges, trying to be able to talk with men on a level that they'll actually hear you and listen to you. And early on in my career, I had an architect actually say to me that he deals with a woman at home, he won't deal with one on the job. And
Wow.
I was 24 years old, having grown up a tomboy. There was a part of me that wanted to pop him. Knowing that that wasn't going to be a successful solution, I made the decision to be absolutely silent and not acknowledge his existence. And he eventually became uncomfortable, chose to leave the meeting. It was a meeting with the architect and the owner, because of the way that I handled the situation, forced him to work with me on the job. So, there's different ways to communicate with men. Sometimes it's silence, sometimes it might be a matter of just taking a deep breath. The biggest key is talking slow, talking low, because when you talk in a high-pitched tone, it's not going to be successful. So that's the biggest takeaway that I've had. I could write a book on them, but that's the biggest.
Perhaps you should.
It's been suggested.
Yeah.
As far as trying to get people into the business, I'm a member of the National Association of Women in Construction. It's another passion of mine, because one of our missions is to get women involved and to be able to grow and train them. And what we've done in our local chapter, I'm in Richmond, Virginia, we get involved with competitions at every school level. So for elementary school, we do a Lego competition where they have to build something construction related. For middle school, we do a design build competition where we get parameters for a house. It could be it's housing a grandparent and parents. It could be a handicapped kid, but they have to design the house. They have to build a model, and the entire time they have to track, just like a construction job site, what's the weather, what got done today, and all the details that go into the project. And then for high school, we do a CAD competition. So, the point was already made. You have to get to kids, and you need to get to them early, because certainly by middle school, they're already starting to form an opinion of what they're going to want to do. So by getting to those elementary school kids, and it's different, you're going to talk to each level differently, because you're not going to talk to a fifth grader about their career. You just want to tempt their thoughts about construction.
Definitely. Does anybody have anything to add to that?
I can relate in a certain sense, Kathy. I got my very start, I would say, working in this industry space and kind of in the textile space as a rep, a sales rep. was 13 years, and it took me, with the largest account I ever opened, which was the largest account in the state at the time, about 2 years. When I first showed up on the scene, I thought I was the Yellow Book sales girl. And I said, no, I'm actually here to design your floor and to help you with your space planning and to sell you some great product. And it took going by and going by and going by. So I think there are advantages. As a women, we have to sometimes work harder. We have to push through. We have to be strong, not only internally, but outside to kind of push back some of those elements, unfortunately. But I also think we have a lot of skills that we bring to the table. Perhaps our counterparts do not. And that's just the gentleness of a nice smile. I can find would sometimes calm clients down, and they would be more opening to hear what I have to say. And just as you mentioned, slowing down the talking in a tone that is open to be heard across the board. And that is really key. So excellent communication skills, I think, are a really strong skill set that as women, we must embrace to be able to help move forward. And there's so many wonderful things that are going on within our industry space. I do think we need to toot the horn that women are represented quite well within our space. We have C-level. I know as a recruiting agency, we have placed C-level ladies in some mighty magnificent roles, from CEOs, CFOs, COOs, and we've got management. I mean, Rachel, look at you. Look at your role and what you're doing. What a mentor to so many. And we just have to keep pressing forward and to keep letting people know that we can do many, many positions and can do them quite well. One of the things I would love to see our industry focus on is technology. We need to educate those behind us and bring them up that technology is a tool to increase our business, make us more our productivity much, much more smoother, more efficient in how we communicate. I tell people all the time, we need to hire contemporary communicators. And that means those that can embrace technology, know how to use a CRM system, know how to use technology, be it in the field, whether it's a lap pad, iTalk, whatever, but that they are communicating and connecting with their client base or that manufacturer. We're a global platform now. We're not just in a small town America, but if we can embrace technology and teach others how to use it, then we're going to elevate and attract a better pool of people, a better employee, whether you're a manufacturer or a retailer or in that contractor side workspace. So that would be one takeaway that I would love to see our industry is to push forward more technology and opportunities for people to learn. It makes a difference, I think, on the bottom line of how we move forward. And it will, many other industries, I would say, are using technology at a point where they're embracing it and enhancing it and glamorizing it. And as an industry, we're losing, I think, some of that. Up until probably the last 5-10 years, it seems like there's been a bigger push to embrace technology and some of the tools that we have and resources that we have within our industry space. But I do think there's a lot of opportunity to grow and to attract that younger pool of generation. Katie, I know that was something that you mentioned. How are we going to reach them? How do we get to them? How do we connect? Well, it's going to be where they are, and they're using technology. So that's one of the things, if anybody else would like to piggyback. I know, Kay, you're doing some pretty amazing things in your space. Share with us a little bit about that, because I've seen that and I'm like, yay,
Me and you both.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with the technology side of that. And that's one of the things that we wrote into this program through the technical college side is that, in fact, that first week when we bring the students in, RFMS has been a wonderful partner to step in and just say, hey, we want to come show them the Measure Mobile. And I was really, I was excited because, I didn't grow up with the computers. My children didn't, they didn't have the computers when they were small. And the technology, in fact, I remember in probably 1984 or 86 when I was working at Shaw Industries and was over the print shop at night, and I walked in and on my desk was this big white box, and it simply had a sticky note that said, "This is our new DOS system, learn it." And, that was an introduction to technology. However, my grandkids, my 2-year-old grandkids can find things on this phone I can't find. And I'm like, how did you do this? So you're right, Susan, we have to reach these young people, female, male, the most exciting thing, I think, and I know this is a fireside chat with women, but guys, we have such diversity in our industry, and we should celebrate that because we're all encompassing and welcoming. And, I think sometimes as women, I can go back through the horror stories, from the when I was working at Collins and Aitman, I was over their Source One department. So we did all the national accounts. And so I had the LDS Church as one. I had Blockbuster. So you're welcome for all that beautiful blue carpet we used to install in the Blockbuster, Bank of Americas. And, so I remember the way that women, were looked at. We were either, if we were aggressive or opinionated, we got tagged with a B word. Mm-hmm. If we were quiet or, just a little bit more Southern, a little slower or whatever, then we were tagged as, not so smart. And you're right. We do have to prove ourselves. And we have. And I think that the society that we're looking at right now is celebrating the movement that we all, we're part of, or not all of us. Katie, I'm sorry, and Rachel, Susan, Donna, and Kathy, I'm going to lump you with me if that's okay.
That's right.
We've got a lot to celebrate here. This is an amazing industry because of the opportunities that we have. I wouldn't be sitting here today without the different job opportunities that I've had in the industry. And so, yes, it's been hard. But with everything, if you're going to tie your focus down as a female and be a victim, you'll never achieve anything. Mm-hmm. But if you want to do it, you can do it, and you can be surrounded by. I've had some amazing men bosses and mentors, and people I look at throughout my career who actually, some told me I couldn't do it, so I proved them wrong, and I did do it, and they came back later and said, "You're right." And then some that were the supportive kind. And so our industry just has a lot to offer for this next generation. And we're working on that. We're working on bringing the attention and the awareness in the education side of our industry. And, the excitement in their faces makes this all worth it. It's amazing. And Katie, I've seen your work. I've seen, it's exciting when you start looking at the statistics that as of right now, there are 11% more, or 11% of our installers are female. That's exciting. That's exciting. I don't know if I answered a question or just talk. So
no, I love it. I love your input, and I think we can jump to Katie, just because, gosh, you do hold a different position than all of us. I've never installed tile myself, and I think what you do is amazing. Can you talk to us a little bit about what brings you passion, and what kind of things are you seeing as the youth is being brought up, hopefully, and introducing this industry to them?
Well, we obviously have a huge shortage, and the industry as a whole is kind of split into two groups, where I feel like half the people are really eager to teach, the next generation, and half of the people are more focused on what everyone else is trying to do. Shannon, that tile chick, comes to mind for me. I think she's doing absolutely amazing things in so many ways, and she catches slack and everything. But Susan, you spoke to meeting people with where they are at. So honestly, I know a lot of the old tile setters, we focus on how someone dresses or whatever, but she dresses exactly like every girl that I know. I have a teenage daughter, you know what I mean? And they're confident and, you know, they get stuff done. And I love that she is herself and she's kind and she's professional. She does better work than me, honestly. And what she's doing is she's really pulling in people that otherwise we would not be reaching, period. So, you know, even if she hasn't installed for 20 years, what she's putting in looks absolutely amazing. She really tries to make sure, you know, the standards are in there. So she's kind of catching all ages too. And that's what we need to see more of. And that's not to say that there aren't some awesome, you know, old guys in the groups that are teaching, you know, super technical stuff once you get to that level. But I think what a lot of them miss is that we need to pull from a bigger pool. Like she's reaching people that, I mean, you know, you can go over standards right to the book, but if some people aren't ready for that, like, you know, she's able to pull kids and, you know, this generation into just putting it like people do that, you know. I wish I was better with making videos and stuff, you know. And then
I think we all could learn something from her, you know. That's one thing that I think all of us are like, I can't do videos like that. I think we can do videos like that. We just have to take the barriers away.
And with that said, she also helps all of us learn what she is doing to make money in addition to her tile. So it's not the same world anymore. People can get upset, but I mean, people are making, I joked the other day online, they're making a lot of money and have 1 million followers chewing into a microphone, like making gross noises with their mouth for hours, and people watch it live. So, I mean, if you can make money at that, why can you not teach people? And which she does. She has a group and everything for people that are serious about being industry creators. And she teaches other women and people how you can actually get, you know, compensated for your time, how to make media packages. Anyways, I know I'm just like talking her up a ton, but Ken Balin, he's another one right there. He's very active in those groups, telling people how to do these things. It's a new living and it's okay. It doesn't take away from your skill level or anything, but what are you doing to pull a bunch of people in? You know, these men and her are creating social media platforms and they're pulling people in. I may not be so good at that. My plan is more maybe, you know, I'm more along the lines of Kathy. I'm super hands-on and I love kids. So to me, it's going to be, I'm going after the middle school and high school tech programs near me because they're dying. I'm watching them die.
You go, girl.
That's what you need to be doing.
You know, Katie, if I can just interject, when I think back about when I was coming up and opportunities that were before me and things that I saw, I mean, honestly, it was either I was going to be an educator, which I ended up being, or a nurse or an accountant. I wasn't really shown all of these things that I could do with my hands or that I could create, or just different, you know, from a chef or flooring, you name it. And I think as role models, it's our duty, as you mentioned, getting in front of them at a younger age and letting them know, hey, have you ever thought about this?
Yes.
Flooring is probably one of the most amazing industry spaces. It encompasses everything. I mean, you've got creativity. We need people with high level of organization. We need good communicators. We need leaders. We're on a global scale, so you can live anywhere and participate in our industry. I mean, how exciting is that?
It's awesome.
And you don't necessarily have to have a PhD.
Right. I think one of the things that I started doing is I actually participate in some career days. And how many local schools do you have? Even if your team or somebody in your industry, in your company, wanted to reach out to the local elementary, middle school, high school and say, hey, if you ever have a career day, I'm interested. I'd like to join. I mean, they would love that. They probably are begging people to participate in those type of things and do something hands-on. You're going to get the attention of them and maybe bring some technology piece into it, get their interest piqued and, you know, do it from that level. And I think that can be a great suggestion, even just to take away. Donna, what else do you have to add?
Well, gosh. So a lot. I mean, I love everything that's being said, just very timely. I think that this is a wonderful time right now for this contracting industry. I did read the Brand Research Market Analysis Forecast Report, and it's on the U.S. flooring market. And I just want to give you a little statistic, and it says that the flooring market growth expected at a compound annual growth rate of 6.1% from 2021 to 2028 will reach US dollars of $621.54 billion in 2028. This is a great reason to be a part of this industry. And, you know, you talked about some of the challenges. There's communication. There's maybe, you know, men not taking women seriously at first. I think that once we become passionate and confident about the work that we're doing, we're unstoppable. And so for me, there's no better time than now to get into this industry. And I love all this conversation on education, because that's really my background, education and resources, and knowing what those are. So at the education piece, you have the ability at the State Board of Education level to, you know, what does the policy say about the career pathways that we're seeing in middle schools and in high schools about acting industries, you know, to your suggestion of being part of a career day, that's at the local level. I think that's also a great suggestion. But I think that when kids are coming out of high school, this is a great time to reach them. We have a certification about that through her work. She put together a 15-week course. It was approved by the Technical College System of Georgia and is now going to be taught in our technical college system. And the really great news is in 15 weeks, high school student or anybody can be certified, cost is minimal. And in Georgia, we have the Hope Scholarship, and that covers a portion of the tuition at Georgia's Technical College. And so, you know, the percentage, it's determined by the Georgia Student Finance Commission. It changes a little bit every single year, but, you know, I love the word diversity, Kay, that you had mentioned, because I think that when we talk about how do we introduce people to tap into the $621.54 billion that's going to be available in this industry, it's high school students. It's also, there are groups of people that, such as veterans, women and men that are dynamically, they're looking for something to call their own, that there are groups that's, you know, like in Georgia, we have a very high percentage of homeless veterans. I don't know why that is, but sadly, we need to do a better job of taking care of our veterans. But this is a great opportunity. They don't want to go to a four-year college. They want to just take a 15-week course, get certified, and plunge into and take care of their families and earn great money. And, you know, so for me, it is about education and it's about resources. And, you know, Kathy, you had mentioned the National Association of Women in Construction. There's also Women Construction Owners and Executives of USA. It's all about mentorship. It's about networking, and I would also suggest, as women leaders, having a local advisory council where it's meet monthly. And I love this Fireside Chat. And you have people from all over the country part of this conversation, but locally talk about what's have women leaders together, talk about obstacles, overcoming those obstacles, sharing your wealth of knowledge, and empower each other, you know, getting yourselves to pathways of success. So I'm all about education and resources and just working together, because 621.54 billion is an exciting number. And we do know there's an employment gap here. And, you know, now is the time to get involved, because who doesn't want a piece of that?
Absolutely.
Not that it's easy. And, you know, I'm certainly not implying that this is easy. I'm just going to take a 15-week course. I'm going to get the job done. And, you know, I'm going to start making my, you know, $80,000, $100,000 a year, or 120, whatever it is. But there's a great satisfaction that comes with doing that, and having support of your community and the industry leaders, and just doing it and doing a great job at it.
And I think for my kids that I've been able to, be a part of, just getting to know them, all they're looking for is, wait a minute, let me just stop here just a second. When we started with the FCEF last year, 1 year, when we as an industry decided to put financial backing and support behind a foundation that the only focus was to start addressing the issues in our industry, guys, look at what 1 year has done. And again, I think I said this earlier, maybe it was Michelle or Rachel that had mentioned this, everything just fell into place because it was time. We're way past time as an industry talking about our industry, talking about the wonderful opportunities that we have. Is it hard work? Absolutely, it's hard work. It's hard work. But it's not the work that's the bad word here. It's not giving somebody that pathway. It's not showing them that, yes, here's where you can start out. And if you can learn this, you have so much opportunity that's in your wheelhouse. It's up to you and your skill development. It's up to you and how you relate to customers. It's up to you, but you have the reins. You can make this as big as you want or stay as small as you want. Not a lot of industries have that. And so what makes me excited is when I get a phone call from one of the graduates from our 10-week program in January that just graduated, a month ago. And guys, I got to tell you this real quick. I don't know that I can tell anything real quick, but I'll try. He was one of the very first scholarship applicants. The technical college system of Georgia, the Georgia Northwestern Technical College, we had our first industry 10-week program that went through carpet, resilient, tile, and hardwood installation. And he was from Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where he lived. He came to Dalton, Georgia. He stayed with family for 10 weeks. This program runs Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2:30 every day. And he went home on the weekends, and he did that all on his own dime, 24 years old. But he was hungry. He was hungry for opportunity. We can talk about the great money they can make, but if we just give them that opportunity and let them choose their pathway, you would be so surprised at how excited they were. And so I got a call from Will probably about 2 weeks ago, along with all the pictures of the jobs he's doing. And he said, Miss Kay, he said, thank you. He said, tell the industry, thank you for allowing me this opportunity, because I don't know. I never thought I could make this kind of money in this short of time. He said, I'm working 16 hours a day, but that's okay. That's okay. This is so exciting. So maybe at my age and my, all the years of being in the industry, it just renews my heart to know that our industry is finally competing in the trade skills where we should have been all along. I don't know how that I was so blessed to be in this position, but I'm excited about it, because higher education does not necessarily mean a 4-year degree. And there's nothing wrong with a 4-year degree. I'm going to stand here. I've got kids I pushed all the way through college. And one of them, my youngest son, he's got a 3-year degree, which, you know what that's worth? It's worth about $65,000 in debt. And he's making more money in the flooring industry than he would have with his degree. Again, we've got to give kids the opportunity to work with their hands again, and to have pride in that. We keep using the terminology craftsman. We keep using that. We've got to get back to that I remember growing up as a girl, that brick mason pride. You know, when a brick mason talked about his work, that was prideful, and it was handed down generation to generation. We've dumbed down installation so much that in a consumer's eyes, they don't have a value in it. And our industry has to step up and correct that wrong, and so many wrongs, but we're starting. Sorry, guys.
No, don't
That
apologize.
was great.
That was great.
I think perception is like a really huge issue in general.
Mhm.
You know, I've heard the stories. I'm third generation from the tile side. My dad told me stories about how the men would show up in suits to the jobs when it was mud work, not thin set. And they would make a wooden cross, and the hat would go on the top, and the tie would go on one side, and the jacket would go on the other. When they got done, they went home the same way because they respected their job and they respected the opportunity to make that money. And now people see it as the dirty job and how it's for the people who can't make it through college or aren't smart enough. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
And until we can change that perception, it's going to be a problem. You know, the other thing is that a lot of people think that it's going to be, you know, once you start as an installer, you're always an installer, and they don't realize the opportunity for growth in their career path. I go to the career days. There's a school system in my area that actually has one specifically for careers that don't require a college education. And I go there, I represent the technology side because I use software for everything that I do. So I go there with a computer and I have the pretty pictures. They're all color coded with 3D drawings. And then I go with a manufacturer and I go with a flooring contractor. And the whole idea is to show them the opportunities that you don't just start in one place and you're stuck there, but that you can grow. And the only limit is your own thinking.
That's a good one.
Absolutely. I would just add that, you know, to begin the work or to continue with this work on just this awareness, it's changing the stigma of, gosh, you didn't go to a 4-year college, so, you know, what good are you? I think changing the stigma, and somebody had placed in the comments about how, you know, be proud of what you do, love what you do, that there is, you know, such pride to be had in working with your hands and taking care of your families. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We're finally out of this pandemic where people have been isolated for 2 years. I'm telling you, this is never a more exciting time. There's a comment right there. Never been more time to really ride the coattails of, like, a year ago, who would have known how much we could advance just doing this work to actually really seeing some great strategies in place to grow the industry. So
Great.
it's just it's an incredible time. I'm excited for it and see how this is going to play out, especially for you know.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit, Donna. It's a little hard to understand you, but definitely.
That's the big three, right? Educate, own leadership. Get that.
I don't know if we lost her. Sorry, Donna. It was cutting out a little choppy again there, but
I would just say, you know, never.
Oh,
yeah,
I think she might be frozen. I think we'll try to wrap up here.
No, I'm here.
Oh, sorry. Just can't hear you. Well,
go ahead.
Let's do a couple have everybody give their closing thoughts, and if there's one thing that we can take away and maybe educate those that are watching the video, let's just give something for everybody to take away, and what they can do locally, or something they can do today. So Susan, would you like to start us off?
Sure, absolutely. I think as one thing that we can take away is that we have an amazing industry. We have amazing opportunities on every scale, every level. There's truly an opportunity for each and every person where we will embrace their skills and welcome them into this industry space. And I have to tell you, talking to people every single day looking for positions, top talent, they're not looking for a job. They're looking for a career. They're looking for a partnership, meaningful employment with a company that's exciting, that is a modern company, a company that uses technology to win. If we're going to go after whether it's that next generation just behind us, we're going to have to reach them where they are, use technology, whether it's that content that Katie mentioned, going after some of whether it's the TikTok videos or doing a YouTube, what we're doing, the more we get the word out, the more they will embrace, the more they will know. And, I guess if there's a hiring tip for manufacturers or retailers or contractors that might be listening, embrace the technology, train people up in the flooring industry, but welcome them with the technology. And when you hire people that are bringing skills, technology skills, comfortable using CRM systems and different tools, be it in the field or in the office, you're going to attract a better team. You're going to get better employees. And that includes women. You're going to attract a broader landscape of people.
Absolutely. Katie, what are some of your takeaways and anything that you can suggest to the group? And your dog is really cute in the background.
There's like 3 of them. Oh, I live in a zoo.
Okay.
It's honestly, I think, there's the 2 different approaches, like casting the wider net, but something that works just as well is, people doing things at their local level. Whether it's Angie Hafford Ray teaching mosaic classes at the local community college, or, me trying to help bring trade programs back to the middle school in Maine instead of maybe Italian and Mandarin, things that make more sense for our areas. The career days at the schools and everything, those sort of things are just as helpful as, casting that huge net, because if everybody in their area just does something small, I don't care, coach your kid's team, and, just them knowing that, you're the local tile installer or builder or something, even that can give them access to the, that it's a possibility. But yeah, I think there's 2 different ways to approach it, and neither one is wrong.
Absolutely. That's a great suggestion. Getting involved in your local community, not necessarily having to talk to the technical college as well. Well, that is really important, but just volunteering or doing something where you're out there, visible to your community. And I think we've gained a couple of our employees because our warehouse manager is a coach of a local basketball team. It's like, that's cool. And we've gotten, hires because of it. So great ideas, definitely. And Kay.
So there's a saying that says that change only occurs when the fear of change is not as, let's see, I knew I'd mess that up. Basically, it says that when the fear of change is not as great as us changing and what the results are. And our industry is an old industry. And Daniel, I think you've got a question, and I'll try to address that in this as well, because your question is, how do we move forward with the issues that we have in our industry, and how do we address those and fix those first before we start bringing new people in? But let me preface that, because even with the numbers that Donna mentioned to you earlier, and the foundation was created because of an assessment of our industry. In 2018, so this is prior to COVID, we're losing 4,000 to 6,000 installers a year for the next 10 years. That's not just, crisis, that's catastrophic. Guys, if we don't fix that part of it too, our industry is going to look much different in 5 years. So we can't do everything at one time that we need to do. But we put some things in process to start changing that now. That's what's exciting. We're not just sitting around a table having a meeting for a meeting, talking about all the industry problems that we have and how to get them fixed. We're doing what we do with elephants. If you're going to eat an elephant, you eat it a bite at a time, and I'll be honest, I'm sick of the elephant. And I'll even be, more open and honest as a woman. Sometimes, we're in a very male dominated industry that has been for a long time. And so, it's exciting because we're in a place right now that honestly, all these things should have been in place 25 years ago, at the very least, to even compete in the construction world and in the technical college world and everything else. But guys, I can't do anything about yesterday. I can't do a thing about it. All I can do is put the things in place right now. I need the support from the industry. I need each and every one of you. I don't care if you work for a software company or a trucking company that hauls flooring. You need to be supporting the FCEF. Donna talked about the college program that we have. That's one of many programs we're working with right now to help address this awareness issue, first of all, because kids can't even think to enter into our industry if they don't even know it exists. Yep. So this is huge. This is a big, big problem. And I promise you, there's not a day goes by that I don't get emails or calls about, hey, let's fix this. Let's do this. We've got to do that. We know there's a lot of things in our industry wrong. But the one thing that is right is that we do have a focus on it now, and we're doing our utmost best to at least make positive changes and to be able to set us up for a new generation, not only of craftsmen, because once we, as the FCEF and our partners in our industry, address the installation crisis, guys, I then can move on to other things and help support those as well. So the takeaway from today is, as the industry, go look at fcef.org, help sponsor and help us in any way. It is, Katie, going to take a local level support system. I cannot put a technical college system in your town if the local independent retailers and the workhouses do not help support that with materials as well as job placement. So this is an industry-wide effort. And thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to be here and just to share a little bit of passion. And I think that's one thing that this panel can all attest to, is that we're very passionate. This is not just a career any longer. This has just been a part of who we are. And I love the opportunity to share the good things that we're doing. And Susan, you and I need to hook up later, because I need to hear about some of your recruiting efforts and how to make this better for us. So
appreciate all of your comments. And this comment that just came in here, dominated by men on the production and sales side, but women control most of the decisions at the point of sale. So it's about time. I think this group does make us all better, and amen to that.
Can I say one little thing? I promise I'll quit. I want everybody, if you don't know who Catherine Evans Whitener is, write that down. Go look that up. Catherine Evans Whitener, at an early age, a teenage year, she is the one who started the floor covering industry in Dalton, Georgia. So this industry was created off the back of a young woman with one idea, and then surrounded herself with other females to help support that. And then look where we are today. It started in textiles, but look where we are.
Absolutely. Awesome.
To that same statement, I want to tell you that one of the things in NAWIC that we've changed in that statement about it being male dominated is that we now call it male populated, because more women are moving into management and control positions.
That is a great point, Kathy. Do you have a takeaway that you can share with the group before we wrap up?
Absolutely. You know, we all know that the labor shortage is real. You know, growing up, you know, like I said, I grew up in this industry, and when I was growing up, you knew what the next generation of installers were going to be, because it was the next generation of the current population of installers.
Mm-hmm.
And as that changed and they were pushing their children to go to college instead of working in the trades, it became a problem, and we all kind of kept a blind eye to it. It really is everyone's responsibility to pitch into this effort and make it happen. And I think one of the most important things as individual business owners that you can do is create a culture within your business that attracts people. You know, you can bring in talent, but if you can't give them a reason to stay there, you can turn them away from the industry as well. So making sure that you have that culture that supports them and that everybody's working together, and they have that growth potential, whether it's within your company or growing into other industries within other businesses within the industry. But positive culture is critical.
Absolutely. That's something when we're hiring, it's amazing how that has attracted younger talent to our company. And we focus on that culture a lot. And I can see the opposite side of it, where people are like, I don't know how to find good people. I don't know how to, it's like, what are you showing of your company to even attract that? So to your point, that culture piece is extremely important, but it has to be a decision that you make, and it has to be lived out. It can't just be, talked about and typed out on an ad. So those are excellent points. Thank you so much, Kathy. And Donna, would you help wrap us up?
Sure. So great wrap up. Susan talked about technology. Katie talked about the two-prong approach. Kay, you talked about recruitment and retainment. And then Kathy, you talked about culture and pride in this work. And I would just add to that, as a leader, to never stop growing in your leadership, right? This is a gift that you give to yourself, whether it's in how to be a better communicator, whatever it is that you need to learn, take a quick course. There's so many great resources, even on the internet. Growing as a leader is a gift to yourself that pays dividends to your business and for your family. And then know and utilize the available resources to you, even if it means being a trailblazer and being an outlier and starting your own advisory council with women and men. Talk about the issues that are important to your community and the issues that are in the industry, and then encourage each other. I like the comment that was just shown about how we're all equal. We need to act like it. Encourage each other, empower one another for the success, not only in this industry, but for your families. So thank you so much for this opportunity to share this time with you. Ladies, you are amazing. Rachel, thank you so much for this opportunity. And to Michelle, thank you.
Absolutely. So just to wrap up, I do want to let everybody know that this will be recorded and we will have it on YouTube. So it's live right now, but it will be on YouTube later on. I'm sure it will be on our website as well, womenflooring.com. We'll probably post it maybe again in the group as well. I do want to say a thank you to all the people that are watching out there. I wanted to say thank you to Michelle, who's not present, and she's behind the scenes here, making sure everything runs well. And all of the women that are in this industry. I can't even believe where we were a couple of years ago when we started this movement, and now where we are and doing these great panels, which have allowed us to meet such great people. And I look forward to meeting all of you in person if I haven't already, but maybe next week, Kay, I'll see you in Wisconsin. So, but yes, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that joined us. Thank you for your time, ladies. We appreciate everything that you're doing for our industry, and please continue to push the great word out and support. And let's make this thing better. We can all get better, right?
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Ladies.
Thanks, guys.
So much.
Take care.
Have a wonderful day.
You
Sorry,
too.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.